From Las Vegas, it's Let's Talk News Now with Rick and Ella.
And welcome back to Let's Talk News Now. We have Kim Smith has a guest here with us, Dennis Mitchell. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, Rick, Ella,
Good morning.
Kim.
So good to have you here.
What I was going to say is, you used to getting up this time in the morning. You only work weekends now, right?
Pretty much, yeah. As far as breakfast, I have to be up for breakfast. That's about all I have to be up for.
I want your gig, man. Working on just the weekends is great.
Oh yes, it has its advantages, and everybody gathers around the radio every Saturday or Sunday for breakfast with the Beatles. It's a good thing.
Well, you have to do all that prep work, though. So
It is,
right in the
it's a
beginning.
long process.
Yeah.
I do put a lot of work into the show. So that we can hold a nice 2-hour listening party each
Yeah.
week is what I like to call it. So yeah, it's great.
So, in case you don't know, which I think everybody knows, Dennis Mitchell's been doing the Breakfast with the Beatles show for 21 years now, but you've been in radio for 40 years?
Yeah,
40 years? You started when you were 2.
Thank you so much.
And-
Actually, I did start in high school
Yeah.
in the early 70s, and moved to Las Vegas late 70s, and have been working here for about 30 years. And got handed Breakfast with the Beatles in 1991 at KKLZ, and had a good long run there. Bounced around a couple of stations. We're now at KVGQ, the Q, 106.9 FM, every
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday morning at 10. And I syndicated the show about 10 years ago, and it's now on in 55 markets all around the world, including New Zealand, Germany, UK, Sweden, and doing very well in the United States, and Denver, and Detroit, and all kinds of cool places.
So you're a little busy then.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and it's growing. It's we added 7 affiliates last month, so yeah. I don't think
Congratulations.
interest in the Beatles is ever going to wane. I've got a feeling people will always want to hear some Beatles music on the radio.
Yeah, why the Beatles? Were you a fan before you got the show?
No question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I and my neighbors and my thousands and thousands of people I've grown up with and known through the years, all of us who were brought into the influence in 1964, who were actually lucky enough to see the Ed Sullivan shows and be there for the very start of Beatlemania. It just got in us, and I don't think it's ever going to leave. I go out and see Beatles bands, our local band, The Fab. They've got a great little vibe here at Queen Victoria's Pub with Cavern Club mock-up and a neat Beatles band a few times a week. The community is very strong here for Beatles music, and I'm never hurting for a crowd to show up to hear Beatles music or find some interest in it.
It's pretty cool. And we've got the Beatles show here now, too. The Cirque Beatles show,
love,
too.
Love
Yeah.
by Cirque du Soleil.
Gosh.
That's another thing. Las Vegas has quite a Beatles heritage that a lot of people aren't aware of. The Beatles played here. They didn't play Phoenix. They never played in Arizona. There were very few southwestern United States shows. The Hollywood Bowl, of course, is infamous, but the Vegas stop is somewhat infamous as well, because it was so quick in and out. It was such a small town when they were playing such big venues and arenas and cities. So there's that history that the Beatles actually played here. It's an interesting and fun story, and there's all kinds of cool pictures to go along with that. But now it's evolved to where Paul McCartney stops here on his tours, Ringo Starr stops here from time to time on his tours, and in 2006 we were granted this awesome, wonderful show at the Mirage, Cirque du Soleil, did the Beatles with love, and it continues 6 years and going strong. So that's a part of the Beatles connection in Las Vegas as well.
I was just going to say, I know that Sir Paul McCartney was here, and he went and saw the Cirque show. Mm-hmm. Now, beyond all the publicity of him showing up, okay, and being at that show, was there any feedback what he really thought of the show when it was all said and done?
Actually, the work got going on this. I interviewed Giles Martin, Sir George Martin's son, who helped put together the soundtrack and a lot of the music and the way it comes together and all that. The work started in 02, 03. And all of the Beatle entities, Paul and Ringo and Olivia Harrison and Yoko, were in on it pretty much from the get-go, and given status updates. They would be brought in so often every year and a half to see how it was going and what it was going to look and, more importantly, sound like. They were on board every step of the way and got even more enthusiastic as it went. Giles told us each time they would bring him in, all white knuckle, what are they going to think about this? Oh, this is sacrilege, we're messing with their music. Thumbs up all the way, do more, we like it, this is really exciting. So yeah, Sir Paul wholeheartedly approved of it all. Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's such a great show, and of course, Ella coming from Great Britain.
That's right.
And turning around, and we do it here, we're doing the show here inside the Queen Victoria Pub, and you were mentioning that here they have the stage here is a replica of the Cavern.
Yes.
Which is where is that where they started? Was it the Cavern in...
As far as their big break in Liverpool, yeah, they started in somebody's living room in Liverpool, literally, when they were just 5 kids, and a guy happened to have one of those little old machines that would record an acetate record. They actually started doing that stuff in 1958, 1960. They did a little residency in Hamburg that's quite famous, where the Beatles would peak best, went over there and did 8 hours a night, just really putting in an internship from hell, playing incredible hours, thousands of hours, and then they came back and were a huge hit in England, having kind of earned their stripes. And the Cavern Club was their local touch base in Liverpool. That was where all the kids gathered at lunchtime concerts with only soda and hot dogs to watch the Beatles in a sweaty underground cavern.
Soda and hot dogs, okay.
They were a cavern club, and so the garage band, they were the cavern
They were
band.
the first garage band.
Yeah, the first garage band ever. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
We're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the nostalgia with the Beatles, but also, I understand you may have a couple of things that you want to share with us as well. So
the story never ends.
The story never ends. And we'll be back in just a moment. In the meantime, if you want to know more about us, it's very simple. You go to letstalknewsnow.com. Everything is all there. We'll talk to you in a moment.